Right, this is based on a big survey of thousands and thousands of people on seeking arrangement and on other websites. Now, there are three zones of categories for age groups in which there is a particular behavior among girls. Between the age group 18 to 25, girls are nice and sweet. They don't have the entitlement, they don't have any issues like depression and anxiety and all those kind of that. And if you see here, the actual score and the perceived score. The perceived score starts to increase, which is the feeling of entitlement after like 23, 24. It reaches the max at like 26, 27, and it goes to the max to 28. After 28, if you meet any girl, she would perceive herself much higher than the actual score. And the gap would be big, big, big. It goes worse, and after 35, it's like you cannot even talk with them because they have this feeling of entitlement and a completely wrong idea of reality. And you can see their rude behavior and attitude. Try to talk to a 35-year-old girl on any dating app and you'll find out. Why is that? That comes from the perceived score and the depression index. So it's not just this. If I were to say, there would be something called depression index. In the starting, the depression is minimum. So I would say that it increases very little, generally considering all other stuff. In this case, after like between 26 to 27, it increases. So it increases rapidly. So I would say that, just putting in some numbers, because these are the three places. And after this, it increases even rapidly. I'm going to change something here. I'm going to make it 6. I'm going to make this, yeah. I'm going to add this depression index here as well. But yeah, so there is a perceived score, an actual score. Uh, the perceived score could also be called as an entitlement. Just because you have a pussy, the girl think that something bad is happening with my spelling. Yeah, just because you have a pussy, you think that you are superior or you deserve something. They keep on saying that I deserve this, I deserve that. And then there is a depression index, which also increases with time. So the depression index increases rapidly after the age of 30. And also because if I were to add something more, I could even add body count. The body count here increases. I would say it increases by 3 every year. The body count increases by 6 every year. No, I think the body count increases the fastest here. So after this, the body count increases at a lower speed because of this entitlement feeling. And after this, the body count increases by even a lower number. That also brings a bitterness on feeling. The depression index is linked to the body count. So when you get a lot of people, you're not having a trouble, and this is a realistic number. By the age of 35, they have sex with at least 50 to 70 people. So this number does make sense. I think the starting number would be 6, but these are the stuff. Um, that's one part of the understanding. Let's draw a chart out of that. So insert chart. It looks a little bit complicated, but we can look at each of these lines to understand what's happening, and then we can understand how to deal with the issue. Okay, when it comes to single mom, they think that they are the best. Stay away from them because it's it's going to harm you. Don't even think about it. The actual score and the perceived score hits. Let me add the Y index as well. Vertical axis, variable font, scale factor, from data, okay, age. I think what is happening is it's also increasing the age. So I have to say that data is B1 and x-axis is age. So I think, yeah. And now I can say that make this as a string, treat it as text. Okay, here we go. So single mom have the highest entitlement index. So this should be perceived score, uh, entitlement index, and that's why it's impossible to date that. Uh, the perceived score or the entitlement index goes up, up and up. It goes very high, and after like 28, it's impossible to deal with that. You'll see. I'll show you some examples on on the website on what happens, and I'm going to show you how to expect a kind of reply that you're going to get with different girls. I've done this with thousands of girls online, and also when you meet them on the street. There are some advantages to meeting them on the street, like you can take care of the depression index and all those stuff. But yeah, okay. The depression index goes up, up and up, and after 35, it's like complete depression. After some time, they start feeling anxiety, depression, and that happens mostly after this age. Uh, the body count goes down, and that's why the depression index goes up, the rate of change. And the actual score, actual score can also be a very good proxy for sexual marketplace value. That also goes down, down, down. So that's why these girls are called the damaged girls after 31. It's not just the body, it's about the emotions, it's about the damage, the psychological trauma, the depression, the body count, and everything, and that's why it becomes impossible to deal with that. Now let's look at some other factors which makes it worse. If the girl is from New York City, then it's like even worse because everything will get magnified. This body count gets magnified, the perceived score get magnified because of the body count and related issues. If she's educated, the entitlement index goes up, her perception of what she wants goes up. If she is born in Eastern Europe, then again it's very bad. If she's a lot into fashion, the body count goes up, the entitlement index goes up. Uh, you can look at a girl and tell if she what is going into her mind. Now there is something funny. You would think that black and fat girls will be easier to deal with because they won't have a high entitlement index, but it's kind of reverse. The little fat and the fit girls are easy to deal with. The super hot and black and fat are the worst to deal with. You would think logically that, and you would think it here as well, as the age goes down, their perception should go down about what they are worth. But it's the opposite. Likewise, black and fat girls are more annoying than a normal little fat or fit girl. So, what is the best combination? The best combination is somebody between the age of, and let me show you something. So, somebody between the age of 20 and, if there was a sweet spot, it was 20. So, somebody at 20 located in Michigan, either a soph or junior, plain white American, no fashion, and a little fit fat, not the super fit body, not the super hot body, not the abs. So that becomes the highest chance of success. And what is the worst chance of success? Pick a girl who's like 35 in New York City, who has done her masters, who was born in Eastern Europe, who has a lot of fashion and a big Instagram channel, and who is super hot. There is no black girls in Eastern Europe, or you can pick like a Native American, plain American black girl, and you'll see. The African girls are better, who are born in Africa. So that's completely different. So this is about the score. Now let me show you some girls, and let me show you how I would predict them. So let me show you some of the messages, and we can find out how they are going to behave. If I go to this girl, let's quickly do the math. If she lives in New York City, so how would I look at it? 33, it's a bad time. New York City, bad time. Is she a fashion or a supermodel? Yes. She has 17 pictures. Bachelor's degree. And you can read this and find out she's a yoga instructor. That's a big red flag. Uh, and yeah, now you're going to talk with her. She's going to ask for insane amount, and she's going to say, show me the money, this and that. And a lot of trouble. We can even go ahead and talk with them and see what happens. Okay, I can show you some examples of some bad. Look here, this is a classical example. Okay, these are girls with kids. No, okay, but they are married, so let's see. Let's see. Like this is a girl, very high entitlement index, and this is a typical girl that I'm talking about. The biggest red flag, once you cross that 27, 28, you have a very high entitlement index. If you look at the body, you think that they are hot. She's not even American. Latino girls are much better. And she is in New York City. That's good enough to understand. I think she's born in Eastern Europe or something like that. Maybe. She does not look Latin, otherwise she would have mentioned it. So these are the most annoying girl, all big red flags. Let me show you some more so that you understand what's happening. Some other girls are like, or I can show you the girls who are like there on the plane app. Now, I want to show you something. When the girl crossed like 40 or something, then things reverse. So that's a different scenario. At 49, 45, that's a completely different scenario. At that time, there is a lot of self-realization and they start to behave differently. But before that, it's a lot of trouble. 23, Canada. I'm not doing Canada, so this is out of the picture. Okay. This girl is going to give me a hard time already. I know that. The lipstick, the fashion, these pictures. So I'll show you some girls that are not going to give me trouble. So let's go here. So the first thing is should not be in New York, should not be Asian, should be plain white American, should not be black. So the good ones are like this one. A little fat. A little fat is always good. That brings the body count and the other thing down. 23 is a good age, but she is in New York, New York, so it's going to be a hard time. The problem is I'm also searching some places in New York, New York, so that's a trouble on my behalf as well. I should go to more on the Philadelphia side because I'm going to only get New York, New York. The best place to however do this is Michigan or some other nice place. But here, you see, you get crazy replies and they bother you. So this is, I'm going to show you some nice examples maybe the next time on how this is happening.